Greetings and welcome to another edition of WrestleScope Weekly Podcast. I'm John. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. If you're watching this live, it's a great evening here, and we are less than 24 hours away from Hell in a Cell, a pay-per-view that has, count 'em, 5 matches. Just 5. There's going to be some things added. There's got to be. So, on this week's show, we're going to talk a little bit about what has happened this past week leading up to Hell in a Cell, a very, very bad Raw, a very bad go-home Raw, and a much better go-home Smackdown. And I will give you my detailed predictions of what I think is going to happen at Hell in a Cell. I apologize, I'm kind of looking back and forth here because I've got dual screens. I've got my camera here, and I've got YouTube over here. To look at the chats. Obviously, throw in your comments in the chat if you want. Would love for you to join in on that. So let's talk about Raw this past week. And I don't even have notes in front of me for Raw because Raw was terrible. It was an absolutely awful show. Don't even really want to remember any of it. The best thing at the very beginning, the very first thing we see is The Fiend and Alexa Bliss in the ring. And then all of a sudden, out comes Retribution. And then comes the Hurt Business. And let's talk about Retribution for just a moment here. This is a group that should be getting a better push. Should be getting better storylines. I thought maybe there was some hope here with Retribution versus the Hurt Business. But they got destroyed. They got embarrassed by MVP Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business. And then The Fiend comes out and puts the mandible claw on T-Bar. And that's the end of it. And then all of a sudden, a little bit later, we end up finally getting a promo by Mustafa Ali, the one that we should have gotten the week before. But for whatever reason, because of the draft, was scrapped. And he explained that he was the Smackdown hacker. Oh, by the way, throw that in. I was the Smackdown hacker. And I've got information on everybody, blah, blah, blah. Why wasn't that promo last week? Because you put it on this Raw, and it looks stupid. It's after they got their butts handed to them by the Hurt Business and the Fiend. So was that the end of it? Was that it? Are they going to come back out and attack somebody else? Why wasn't there a match set up for Hell in a Cell between Hurt Business and Retribution? That's when you have the 8-man tag. That's when it should have been. Was at Hell in a Cell. Not on Monday Night Raw in the opening segment. What are they doing with this? Who the heck knows? Okay, quite honestly, the rest of the show was forgettable. It really was. But let's talk about the go-home angle. I want to compare go-home angles for the main titles. You've got Drew and Randy, Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, which was, it was leading up to something really good. Randy cutting a great promo. And that's been the big thing out of this entire feud, is Randy Orton has been absolutely fantastic with his promo work. And it's really been helping build this up. So he requests that the cell comes down, he locks it with the chain, he's in there. But earlier in the evening, Drew McIntyre had said, hey, if he's going to be out for a promo, I'm going to be around somewhere. Well, he lived up to it. Randy got his 2-minute promo in. And Drew comes sauntering down to the ring, and it's locked. And Randy is obviously sitting there and, teasing him, harassing him like, hey, I'm locked in here. Ha! You can't get me. Well, guess what? He's going to walk over and reach over, and there just happens to be bolt cutters sitting right there. Just magically, when certain things are underneath the ring, yep, the bolt cutters are there. Pops it open, Randy grabs a chair, he's in the middle of the ring, Drew walks in, slams the cage shut, stares at Randy, and they go off air. Really? They went off it. And what made it even dumber was you had Raw Talk immediately afterwards on the network, and you show, I don't watch Raw Talk. I'm just, I had heard about this the next day because I was just so angry. You've got the hosts of Raw Talk, and you've got the cage behind you, and there's nobody in the cage. There's nobody in the Hell in a Cell. Only a few minutes had gone by, and it was empty. Like, so what did they do? Did they say, hey, Randy, Adam Pearce comes out, Randy, we're off the air, so, don't do anything. Drew, come on out. Let's just go home. Absolutely horrendous ending. You flash forward to Friday night, and the big build, the big talk was Roman Reigns was going to have the tribal consequences. He was going to talk about what the consequences for the I Quit match with his cousin Jey Uso were going to be. And there was a lot of speculation this week. A lot of people all kind of agreeing on, all right, it's going to have something to do with either Jey and Jimmy are going to have to side with Roman, or they're going to lose their spot in the family. It was very apparent. And I kind of do an argument on TikTok today with somebody about this, because I'm not going to say this person by name, but this person had predicted this was going to happen, and they kind of patted themselves on the back for predicting it right. Well, guess what? It was you and about 1 million other people that kind of predicted this was going to happen, and I was one of those million, okay? We all kind of knew this was the direction it was going because it's all been leading up to it. The breadcrumbs have been there. The breadcrumbs have been there for the last couple of weeks that, Roman keeps talking about, I'm the head of the table. I'm the one that puts the food on the table. This is why I need to be the champion, because I'm the one that needs to provide for the family. If you beat me, it's not going to happen. So it laid it out completely perfectly for this to happen. And there was just a little bit of build throughout the evening for this. Just a little, not much. They obviously promoted it a couple of times, coming out of commercial breaks that, Roman Reigns is going to come out with his, tribal consequences tonight, blah, blah, blah. They didn't beat us down with it, and the ending segment was absolutely fantastic. It was the perfect way to cap off this go-home show. But let's talk about, let's do a quick SmackDown review here. The show opens up with the KO show. And it's always a good thing when it's the KO show, because it's going to be something entertaining. He brings out Daniel Bryan, and they have, a couple minutes back and forth. Daniel Bryan had made comments the week before about how excited he was to be back on SmackDown and talk about all the great new talent and, great matchups he can have and everything else. And there's some banter back and forth with KO and Daniel Bryan. And, KO comes in like, one regret I have here, I have never won a tag team title in WWE. And he pitched the idea of a tag team with Daniel Bryan. And let me tell you, I popped for this. I would love to see Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan as a tag team, even if it's just for the short term before Kevin Owens turns on him. Because just like Daniel Bryan said, hey, you have a history of turning on your friends. Then they were interrupted by Dolph and Rude, who were interrupted by Street Profits, who were then interrupted by Cesaro and Shinsuke. And you're looking at it like, all right, you've got the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and you've got two really good established teams, and another Franken team that, boy, this could be big. Well, Teddy Long, screaming and shouting in the back, all right, playa, we gonna give you a tag team match. Okay, he didn't really do it. But we come back from break after they have, the knockdown, drag-out battle in the ring with Daniel Bryan still in his street clothes. You get an 8-man tag match, two teams together. You've got KO and Daniel Bryan and the Street Profits against Dolph, Rude, Cesaro and Shinsuke. And wow, this was a great match. A lot of great talent there. Daniel Bryan taking a lot of the punishment in this match. And I liked to see that. I mean, I don't like seeing Daniel Bryan get beat up on, but for a guy that hasn't wrestled in a few months, it was great to see him getting the action in there. It was awesome to see. And you've got Montez Ford getting just the unbelievable frog splash that he does. The height, the reaction that he gets on it, and he gets the pin, and it's fantastic. Then they have a funny little backstage segment, and then we go to Law and Otis, Part 1. And I was, coming into this, I was a little apprehensive because I wasn't exactly sure what to expect out of this. And for the most part, WWE did a really good job with this. It kind of put the wrapping on everything. It was funny. You have Ron Simmons come out, and he's the bailiff. And he introduces the Honorable JBL, which, that should be facetious right there, Honorable and JBL, but he was the judge. And the opening statements were, Miz playing character perfectly. Otis basically simply saying, well, I won the Money in the Bank ladder match fair and square, and I've got the... I know, it's a really bad Otis impression, I'm sorry. And then they go to break from there. Then we see the SmackDown debut of Bianca Belair. And this is great that she finally gets some TV time after all those different, the Mr. Perfect style promos that they've done for her on Raw the last couple of weeks. And I was torn because her opponent was Zelina Vega. Zelina just coming over from Raw. She just got drafted over to SmackDown. And I'm a huge Zelina Vega fan. I love it when she's on TV. She is great on the mic, good in the ring, just brings a lot of energy and personality. I hated seeing her basically getting squashed by Bianca Belair. There had to have been somebody else on the SmackDown women's roster that could have been in this position. Wasn't Billie Kay drafted over? Can you just feed her to Bianca Belair, please? Not Zelina Vega. Then we get, talking about squash matches, we get Shorty G in the ring talking about, I don't even remember what he was talking about, but he needed to prove himself. He wasn't drafted, he needed to prove himself, and out comes, how many times is Michael Cole going to say it, the freak Lars Sullivan. Had it not been for Chad Gable being in this segment, I would have turned the channel. I don't care anything about Lars Sullivan. Part of it, yes, has to do with all the issues he's having. He makes his comeback and another controversy with Lars Sullivan. But we don't need another big monster of a wrestler. We got too many of them right now. They're going to be pushing, Dabba-Kato on Raw. They're going to be pushing him as a monster. You got Braun Strowman. You've got, I forget his name, the guy that's the 7.5 foot tall bodyguard for AJ Styles. We don't need another one of these, but it's the Vince McMahon way. Oh, you're big, you're strong, we can call you the freak. I love you. And he goes out and he squashes Shorty G. And then one of the stupidest things ever, they interview Shorty G. He's sitting there, lying in the ring. He just got his butt handed to him by the freak Lars Sullivan. And what do? They interview him while he's just in pain, and he says he quits. Now, we just saw this on NXT with Austin Theory. And I think they're going with the quote-unquote theory here that, the people that watch NXT don't watch SmackDown. The people that watch Raw don't watch NXT or SmackDown, whatever. So, confusion. Okay, why is he quitting? What happens? We come back, and Adam Pearce, which the new drinking game is every time Adam Pearce makes an appearance on WWE TV, you have to take a drink. Whatever it is. Tonight, like in my case, I'm drinking Arizona Mucho Mango. You have to take a drink every time Scrap Iron Adam Pearce makes an appearance on TV. So, Adam is back there and he's asking Chad Gable what's going on. And, Chad goes on about, I'm tired of being run over. I'm tired of being, treated as a joke and blah, blah, blah. Dumps the Shorty G thing, which tons of people were excited about. But if you listen very carefully to what he said, he was talking about the whole, state, national, Olympic champion, all these things. And my accolades are this long. And then he goes into, and people are going to remember Gable, Chad Gable. And the first immediate thing I thought of was, oh no. He's not going to be serious Chad Gable. He's going to be, I'm a James Bond type guy combined with Val Venus. Vince McMahon likes Chad Gable, and he thought the Shorty G thing was going to work for him, and obviously it didn't. He's just going to saddle him with another stupid gimmick. At first I thought, oh man, Kurt Angle's going to come in. Kurt Angle is going to be his mentor and lead him and take him to a mid-card title. That's what it's going to be. Chad Gable is never going to be a world champion in WWE. I hate to say it. I could see him in a few months' time, if Sami Zayn is still the Intercontinental Champion, that he battles for the Intercontinental Championship, which would be great, because the dude is super talented. He really is. I think had Jason Jordan not gotten hurt, well, first of all, had they not split the team up, American Alpha, and Jason Jordan not gotten hurt, I think American Alpha really could have done some great things as a tag team, but they weren't given a chance. But they're going to saddle him with another stupid gimmick again. They really are. It's going to be dumb. He's going to look like an idiot again. He's probably going to get fed to Baron Corbin once more, and whatever. Okay, we get the Bayley promo. And, the week before, Bayley said, I am not signing this contract. I am not going to face Sasha at Hell in a Cell. And Sasha comes out and says, yeah, I'm going to make you sign this contract. And Bayley has a good promo at the beginning. Sasha comes down, and really it was kind of disappointing the direction they went, because it went a little bit too fast. Sasha gets some offense. She gets basically the bank statement locked in on Bayley when she's kind of tied up in a chair, and it forces Bayley to sign the Hell in a Cell contract, which immediately the red flags go up that, well, Bayley could whine and cry that, hey, I did this under duress. I was forced to sign this. I did not want to willingly sign this contract. But we have the match set. This is not going to be the culmination of this feud. And I'll talk about it in my predictions here in just a little bit. We get to the second part of Law and Otis, and we get some eyewitnesses. First of all, we get the appearance of Teddy Long, good old Peanut Head. Sorry, I had to. Going back to WCW, that's what his nickname was. And we see Rey Mysterio, Asuka, who probably had the best moment of the night, just screaming and yelling in Japanese. Nobody could understand what she was saying. That was the best part of the night. Then you have Tucker on the stand, and Tucker and Miz probably had the best head-to-head, going back and forth, verbal conflict of the entire thing. It was great. And Tucker, I really hope that he gets a solid push as a singles wrestler on Raw, because he deserves it. His mic skills are really good. He's good in the ring. He deserves something coming out of this. Then, they break away, go to break, come back. Judge JBL has his decision, and he's ready to give it to Otis. He's ready to give it to Otis, and then Miz interrupts him. Wait a second, I have one more piece of evidence. Hands Ron Simmons the black briefcase. Simmons takes it up to the judge. He opens it up. You hear the cha-ching, his eyes light up, and we all know what was in the briefcase. It was cash. Cash money. Money, money, cash. Cash money. And he changes his decision. He goes in favor of The Miz and announces there needs to be a match for the Money in the Bank contract at Hell in a Cell. Did we really need to go through all of this to get to the match? That last section right there ruined the entire thing. It really did. It ruined it. And I'll be interested to see where they go at Hell in a Cell with this. I don't want to see Miz with the Money in the Bank contract. He doesn't need it, and it doesn't add to anything. Nobody is going to care if the Miz cashes in. He's going to attempt to cash in on Drew McIntyre. Because, well, spoiler, I'm predicting Drew is going to retain. I'd rather have Otis hold on to it. And something else happens. I can see Otis calling his shot, just like John Cena did. He's going to call his shot. He may not be successful, but that's fine. Give him the opportunity. Let Otis be a little bit more serious. Let him start beating people up as a singles wrestler coming out of this. Don't take the belt. What I would love to see, or excuse me, don't take the briefcase. What I would love to see is, okay, you've got, Tucker comes down, Mandy Rose is with them too. Morrison is obviously with Miz. Morrison does something to cost Miz the match. And all this infighting and John Morrison being made to look like an idiot over the last couple of months finally hits ahead, and you get Miz versus Morrison at Survivor Series. Otis hangs on to the briefcase, and you've got another feud right there, and you let John Morrison be John Morrison, not some stupid sidekick that looks like a bumbling idiot. Let the dude show his physical capabilities. Let it happen. Let him go full babyface here and give him an opportunity. Match of the night. Now, I know I was really high on that 8-man tag at the beginning, but we have what should be the 6th match at Hell in a Cell. Why this was on Smackdown, I don't know. But you have Murphy versus Rollins. And I'll tell you, Seth Rollins, he played this Messiah versus disciple thing beautifully. For the beginning couple of minutes of the match where he kept yelling at Murphy, you need to learn Messiah, disciple, and just drilling that in. And Murphy showing just the high-level athlete he is. These two put on a phenomenal match. I believe it went through 2 commercial breaks. Absolutely fantastic match, with Rollins coming out on top, as he should have in this match, with just a sick-looking curb stomp. If Murphy isn't legit injured after that, I'd be shocked. And then, you have the Messiah continuing on. He goes to get the kendo stick, and we saw a spot where Aaliyah, Mysterio, Rey, and Dominic are all in the back. Aaliyah's watching the match on TV, so they're continuing on that storyline. Seth comes in, he's got the kendo stick, takes a couple of shots on Murphy, and here comes Aaliyah. And the look on Rollins' face, Rollins is just, he's in his element with this right now. He really is. And sometime in the next 4 weeks he's going to get written off of TV from the end of Survivor Series through Royal Rumble because Becky Lynch is going to be having their baby in early part of December. So you figure there's going to be some sort of a cap off in the short term of this feud. But Aaliyah comes in and covers up Murphy to protect him, and Seth looks like he's going to hit Aaliyah with the kendo stick. Down comes Dominic. He gets attacked by Rollins, and then Ray comes down and Seth bails. And just the infighting between the Mysterio family as Aaliyah goes over to Murphy. I was worried when everybody got drafted over to SmackDown that this storyline was going to continue, but they're really building on this whole Murphy-Aaliyah angle, that it's adding a whole nother element. It's not just the Mysterios, father and son, going against Seth Rollins. You now have the, I don't want to say love interest, but the friend interest of Aaliyah Mysterio, who is battling a common foe with the Mysterios, but they don't trust him. And just this whole storyline, if they could continue to build on that, I wouldn't mind seeing this for another month going into Survivor Series. I'd be okay with it. And then we have the culmination of everything. We have Roman Reigns announcing the consequences for Jey Uso. So Roman comes out to the ring, and they're getting started, and all of a sudden, you have Jey Uso sitting in the tribal chief's office, suite, whatever you want to call it, with his cheese and meat and fruit and everything else. But you'll notice he's got a mask on and a hat on backwards. But it is what it is. So he's talking. And then all of a sudden he reveals that it's Jimmy. Jimmy Uso is sitting in there. And he tells Roman, my brother's right behind you. And we get Jey Uso getting some offense in on Roman Reigns. Finally comes down to he gets a super kick in. Gets him with the splash. Jey Uso standing tall. Well, I looked at the clock when this happened, like, okay, it's 6 minutes to the hour. This ain't ending here. There's something else happening, and we didn't hear the consequences. So Jimmy comes out to celebrate with Jey. They're at the top of the ramp. Roman, I loved it. The camera work was beautiful on this. Roman standing there, and he's selling the splash, but he just holds his hand out for the microphone. Doesn't say a word. Doesn't even look at Paul Heyman. Just holds the hand out and gets the microphone from Paul Heyman. It's the subtle, the simple things that are just beautiful when it comes to these kind of things. And he basically comes out and says, all right, listen, here's what's on the line. If I lose, family won't be able to be fed. I won't be at the head of the table, blah, blah, blah. If you lose, if I make you say I quit, basically he's got a choice. Jey could fall in line with Roman and call him the tribal chief, or Jimmy, their wives, their children, their children's children are out of the Samoan dynasty. Huge. Then the cage comes down. Roman standing in the cage, and Jey walks down, starts climbing the cage, and just stares down at him. And that's the final shot. Hey, Raw, that's how you do a go-home show. Right there. Absolutely picture perfect. All right, so I've gone a little bit longer than I wanted to here, so let's go into the predictions. As of right now, there are 5 announced matches. I believe there's either going to be 1 or 2 matches either announced during the afternoon on Sunday, or we haven't heard anything about a pre-show. There's obviously going to be a pre-show. There will be a match there. Kind of hard to predict it. I will jump on TikTok on Sunday afternoon, if anything is announced, to do additional predictions. But I'm going to go off of what I have right now. We'll start off with Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Elias is set, reportedly, to have a big push with his comeback. They're pushing because, this album of his is releasing. I see Elias winning. There's going to be a guitar shot in here somewhere, either during the match or after the match. Elias with the win. Money in the Bank. I am struggling mightily with this one. Conventional wisdom says Miz is going to win. But I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to say Otis is going to retain. He's going to get some help. And I think John Morrison is going to be involved, as I said earlier. I think John Morrison is going to screw up and he's going to cost Miz the match. That's going to lead to their feud down the road. We go on, and we're going to take a timeout here. I've got a special guest coming in. We got the jokester here, Jonah. Hey, Jonah, you want to tell a quick joke on my live stream here? He's going to pick out a joke for you. We'll see how this works out. Don't blame me if it's bad, okay?
What has 4 wheels and flies?
What has 4 wheels and flies? I don't know. What?
A garbage truck.
A garbage truck. Oh, it drives, and there's flies because it's a garbage truck. All right. He's going to be the next superstar with the bad kid jokes, all right? Everybody say good night. Jonah, say good night to everybody. All right, get out of here. Go. Close the door on your way out. All right. Next match, we've got the WWE Championship, and I don't know the order yet. I'm just kind of going in my own order here. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in Hell in a Cell. I believe this is going to be the culmination of this feud. I believe this feud is going to end right here. I think this is actually going to be the main event. Because Drew McIntyre is going to retain. It's going to be a hard-fought battle. Randy's going to look like he's going to win, but he's not. Drew McIntyre is going to win. And the closing scene of Hell in a Cell is going to be the red light and the Fiend in the ring standing over a prone Drew McIntyre with Alexa Bliss by his side. That will be the next feud. That's my prediction. See, I should have actually flipped these because that should have been at the end. Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the Smackdown Women's Championship inside of a Hell in a Cell. Why they have the three main titles in Hell in a Cell, I'm not quite sure. A lot of people, even I've heard that the betting odds are in favor of Sasha Banks winning. I don't think it's going to happen here. I think Bayley is somehow, some way going to sneak out with a victory. She's going to cheat her way to a win. And somehow Sasha's not going to get another opportunity until Royal Rumble. Something's going to end up happening where this feud is going to be put on hold for a little while. So I see Bayley retaining. In what a lot of people think should be the main event, I don't think it's going to be the main event, but this one could be the match of the night, just because of the emotion and the storytelling. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I don't know anybody that is predicting Jey Uso winning here. It would be an unbelievable swerve if they give Jey the belt, but it's too early for Roman to drop it. It really is. Unless they do a quick flip and they have a rematch this coming Friday night on SmackDown. But I see Roman Reigns winning, and we find out, I don't know, I don't think Jey is going to have to make the decision tomorrow night. I think they should play it up on Friday night where Jey has to make his decision. And we're going to see the return of Rikishi, the Uso brothers' dad, talking about what needs to be done. You know, maybe we'll see some other family members talking. They need to build it up over the course of the show on Friday night. But Roman Reigns is going to retain. As far as additional matches, I don't know. I don't think we're going to see anything with Retribution in the Hurt Business because Retribution has yet to show up on a pay-per-view. They are Raw exclusive. Asuka has no contenders at this point. Bobby Lashley should be wrestling at this show. The fact that he's not is a travesty. So, are we going to end up with just 5 matches? Absolutely not. There's a potential at the Street Profits. Neither of the tag team titles are on the line. New Day and Street Profits. I hope we don't see tag team titles on the pre-show. But if they put them on the main show, why wasn't there a build? There was absolutely no build at all. So I believe we're going to end up with 1 pre-show match, 6 main show matches. Again, like I said, if anything gets announced during the day on Sunday, I will go on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. I will do my best to get onto YouTube to post something. But that's my predictions. Thank you very much for tuning in. This went a little bit longer than I wanted to. Depending on how the week goes, I may do a Tuesday show, a shorter one, just to do kind of the recap of Hell in a Cell and the recap of Raw together. There may be some shorter ones in here. I might start doing some 5-10 minute review shows on YouTube. Let me know your thoughts. Leave the comments if you're watching the replay of this. Leave your comments here. You can also follow me. Follow me on all my social media. You see it right there. Oh, I pointed right this time. At WrestleScope TV on TikTok, at TV_Wrestle on Twitter, at WrestleScope on Instagram. You could follow me on there. If you're listening to audio podcasts of this, again, all the links are on the audio podcast. We are now on Apple and Stitch and Amazon, and I forget where else we are. We're all over the place. WrestleScope is going worldwide. But here's the thing. One thing I need a favor from all of you is if you have a TikTok account and you're not following WrestleScope TV already, please give me a follow. That's where the majority of my content goes. It feeds directly to Twitter and to Instagram. But please, trying to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok. As soon as I'm able to do that, I can start doing live broadcasts, live streams on TikTok. And that's the immediate goal, is to get to 1,000 to be able to start doing live streams on TikTok, because I can do those more often than I can here on YouTube. Those are much easier to do. I will be talking about sometime in the next week or two. Do have a Patreon page set up. If you go to any of my social media, you can go click on the bio and you'll see the link tree. There's Patreon there. I will be adding some things into Patreon. There will be a Patreon-only podcast and some other things that are going to be coming up very soon. Thank you very much for watching. This has been WrestleScope Weekly, the podcast for October 24th, 2020. Enjoy Hell in a Cell tomorrow night. I'm really hoping this has the potential to be a really good pay-per-view if they don't screw it up. And that's the big thing. If they don't screw it up. Keep watching wrestling. Keep going out there and telling your friends about it. And like WrestleScope wherever you go. Thank you very much and have a great night, everybody.